Hi, everyone. I hope that you are doing well and having a great weekend as spring begins with the time change. I think that I'm getting a little bit of a later start today with springing forward an hour. Um, but I'm looking forward to taking another look at your VoiceThread contributions. I've really enjoyed getting to see your museum memories unfold in the photographs that you shared and then the comments that you were posting. If you haven't yet posted your comments to the VoiceThread, please go ahead and do that as soon as you can. And then during this coming week, week 7, I'd like us to return to the discussion area. You'll notice that there's a thread within our VoiceThread link area that really invites you to have a reflective conversation about the simple or not so simple question, when does the museum experience happen? So I'd love for you to add your thoughts. You can go ahead and start adding your thoughts as soon as possible about that question. When does the museum experience happen? And we'll have a conversation about it over the coming week. This week, we're going to be thinking a bit about evaluation in museums with respect to online learning environments. Now, this is a very complex and rich topic. We won't be delving into specifics like Google Statistics, Google Analytics, but we will be thinking broadly about how online tools allow us to document educational experiences in a variety of ways. So this week, we have a couple of articles that we're going to be reading. The first article is by Randy Korn, who you may know is a museum evaluator, and she wrote an article a few years ago called The Case for Holistic Intentionality, which is not specifically about just evaluation, but how we can use evaluative thinking as a practice to really enter into a cycle of planning, implementing, reflecting, evaluating, and then implementing change to those programs in an iterative, ongoing cycle. And then the second reading that we have is a chapter from The Digital Museum, a Think Guide, and that's a chapter that focuses on evaluating museum technology from a few years ago and has some really interesting kernels of information in it. So we'll be talking about those two articles, and our weekly discussion leaders will be getting our conversation started by this Wednesday, March 13th. And after our weekly discussion leaders get the conversation started, then we can all jump in with our thoughts. And then finally, continuing our tradition of having some type of hands-on activity every week in our class, this week I'm going to be asking you to follow a blog. So not so different from our following Twitter or Facebook in our social media focus a couple of weeks ago. This week I'm asking you to follow a blog and to think about it as a means of documenting experience. While this is partially related to evaluation, of course it also relates to many other topics we've been exploring so far in the course. So be sure to download and read the Microsoft Word document that's located in the Week 7 lessons area, and it guides you through a couple of things to consider, and it asks you to start posting your thoughts about the blog that you've selected by this Saturday at the end of Week 7, and we can continue that conversation into Week 8. After this week, we're going to be shifting our conversations a bit. I'll be posting more detail about this next week, but the second half of our course will really focus on some group projects. And the group projects will really be a means for you to delve into more specifics about one particular museum and essentially to create a proposal, even if it's hypothetical for that museum, where you're drawing upon different online learning environments and thinking about a way that you can create an educational experience by or for or with visitors. So we're going to be digging into Week 7. As always, if you have any questions, please post them in the course questions area, or you can email me directly. So let's get the conversation started this week about evaluating online experiences, and looking forward to seeing you online.